Ah, man. The music's not fucking playing. Hang on.
Oh, man.
How do I... Fuck. Hang on, everyone.
We can just, like, sing it.
I don't... What am I doing wrong here? Hey, everyone. It's Effin Rager. Connor here.
And Maria.
And Maria, joined by my lovely co-host, Maria. Where is this?
I'm going to start singing it if you don't find it.
Hey! All right. Look at this shit. Already they're coming for me in the chat. Hey. Oh man. This is all right. The fade's a little slow. So as much as you want to give me shit for not knowing stuff that Ned does, Ned edited this transition and it's taking too long.
I'm just here to have a good time.
Yeah. So hey everybody, you're watching a lot of technical difficulties on a Monday night, which means it's time for FM Rager. I'm your host Connor Clifton, joined by my guest co-host Maria Haig. Hey Maria, how you doing?
Oh, I'm chilling. I'm chilling on a Monday night.
Yeah, we're having a really good time. We're not panicking. Ned doesn't have to be here.
Yeah.
I don't need him here at all.
I'm doing everything that Ned would have done and more, honestly.
You've done everything that I do whenever things go wrong. I'm like,
this is
like,
what you do?
when things go wrong, Ned definitely focuses. I focus too, but my mentality is like, if it's not working, it's not working. Like, why stress out, man?
You just got to keep it moving forward.
Yeah.
That's the key.
But now that I'm sitting in Ned's seat, I have Ned's stresses.
Ned is also watching.
Oh, shit. Oh, man.
Under his eye.
I asked you if it was good before I exported it, you slime. Shit.
That is a very good diss.
My bad, man. Yeah, we're having a good time here on a Monday night. Okay, so Maria, I'm really happy that you asked to fill in for Ned. You were the first person I thought of. One, you're in the pandemic bubble,
Yep.
so it makes sense.
Yep.
But two, you've been on the show, I think,
So
more
many
than anyone. You know the dynamic. You know how the show works.
Who's my SNL equivalent?
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, like who's the person who's on SNL the most?
SNL the most.
Emily?
I think Alec Baldwin.
Oh, I'm Alec Baldwin?
And that's not
Wait.
including his Trump appearances. That's like him hosting. I think he's in like the 10 Timers Club.
Do we like Alec Baldwin or do we hate him?
Depends. He did say some homophobic slurs to a paparazzi.
Oh, shit.
And
really?
Anderson Cooper doesn't like him.
Oh.
But Alec Baldwin has since apologized and played Trump, so I guess he's in the clear or something.
He's in the #resist crew, so it's all gravy, baby.
Yeah,
all is forgiven.
People have forgotten about Alec Baldwin being very rude. Or
He was washed clean by the blue wave.
Was Alec Baldwin the one who got drunk and ate that McDonald's, or was that David Hasselhoff?
I thought that was his brother, the other Baldwin.
The
lesser Baldwin.
There are 5 Baldwins. There's Alec Baldwin, Billy Baldwin, Stephen Baldwin.
This is like the intro to Avatar.
Ned can't watch. Sorry, buddy. You'll be able to watch in post. You'll be able to fix all my mistakes in post.
Enjoy worrying about it and not being able to know.
So we one of the things that you sent in for today. Oh, come on. I was trying to pull it up. You sent me an email that we could talk about for the show today before we bring on our guest that I'm very excited about. You sent me a bunch of holidays for today.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite things to do is find out what kind of obscure holidays you could celebrate.
To be more accurate, these are days of observance.
What's the difference?
You don't get the day off. Although, for some of these, I would totally take the day off.
Yeah, I think you could get away with it. At least one of those floating holidays.
Floating holidays.
Okay. The 3 big ones that I see here are...
Valdivia says I sound far away. Can you boost my mic, or should I just get closer and speak louder? Oh, God.
Yeah, you can... I mean, you can pull that mic towards you.
Okay.
All right, so the things we have... International Day for Tolerance.
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
Connor, I tolerate you.
I know you do.
And that's it.
I barely tolerate your ass, man.
And I want to recognize that on this day. that is the bare minimum and probably the maximum of what you will get.
If you're out there, if you've got someone in your life that you just tolerate, let them know.
Drop them a line.
And while you're at it, go ahead and passive aggressively tell them to repair their shirt by sending them a button, because it's also National Button Day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So handy.
Let's see. Oh, you can click on this shit.
Oh.
This is just like fun facts about buttons. Whoa.
What?
In the year 1300, the church denounced buttons.
Nice.
They called them the devil's snare.
Nice.
This was probably because most women's clothing of the time buttoned up the front.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Also because they were so complicated that only somebody in league with Satan himself would know how to cross that stitch. Not a cross stitch, just crossing that stitch.
Oh my God.
Buttons!
Here's some National Button Day activities you can do. You can upcycle with buttons. Have a shirt you don't wear anymore? Change out the buttons and make it new again.
Amazing. Amazing.
All right, you could go
In
on
my case, that would be National Button Day. Just fucking replace the buttons. You have a pile of blouses. Just do it. Love yourself.
But do you have a pile of buttons? Because if not, you could start a button jar. That's one of the things you can do on Button
Every time
Day.
you do a swear, you rip a button off and put it in the jar.
Oh, okay. Here are 3 facts to really push your buttons.
Mm-hmm.
What side you button up on is gender-based. I knew that.
I knew that.
Boutonniere means buttonhole in
Boutonniere.
French. Boutonniere.
Wait, maybe I'm saying it bad.
I mean, I would not be surprised. I saw that it was a French word, and I tried to fancy it up so it didn't sound like a dumbass.
Le boutonnier.
But that means buttonhole in French. And buttons on uniform sleeves were put there to stop soldiers from wiping their noses.
That's hostile architecture.
Oh, this is widely repeated but never confirmed. All right, whatever. Anyway, that's Button Day. And the last thing you can do today is it's National Fast Food Day. So go get some fast food. Here's some fast food facts. Oh, wait. This is all pretty dumb. Takeout windows made their debut in 3200 BC. Wow.
Oh, actually, there was an article that went around because apparently, like, in plague era Italy, like in Florence, people would, like, build these windows into the wall of their wine establishment, and there would be a door, and you'd, like, go out there and be like, I need wine, and they'd be like, here, take your wine, get the fuck out of here. So they, like, put their arm through the door, and there are some of them that are still, like, extant, and so they got revived during the pandemic. So they're like, you want ice cream? I don't want to, like, be near you, but here's your ice cream through this like 13th century window.
What's the name of that coffee shop we go to that has that?
Oh, Shella.
Shella.
Yeah, they have that really awesome door.
That works really well.
Yeah. Note to anybody who goes to Shayla, make sure that you tell them that you want to add a tip before you run the card.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure you do tip them because they're really nice.
They are really nice, and they're very fast.
Yeah.
And the thing I like most about them is that you ordered a hot drink the last time we went, and they lost their mind, and they like announced it, and everyone went, ah!
Yeah, I didn't know about that. It was like a secret menu item. It felt like.
I think it might be because it's been so hot that they've never made anything hot. It's like, well, here's more cold stuff. Here's more cold
they're
stuff.
just handing it out of the fridge.
Yeah, and they finally get to turn on that espresso machine, baby.
Oh my God, they did this live video on Instagram not that long ago where they were like doing some arcane coffee process, and they were playing a Midlake album. Do you remember that band Midlake?
Midlake?
Yeah, from like the early 2000s. Anybody who remembers Midlake, sound off, because that really took me back to like 2007, 2006.
Midlake?
It was this band from Austin who did this like kind of dreamy, like sad, like folky, like jammy, like music about. I feel like they literally did a song about a Thomas Hardy novel or something, like Test of the D'Urbervilles or something very fucking bleak and morsy.
Is this like a Decemberist kind of thing? Decemberist vibe?
Not quite as like contrived.
And what are they called?
Mid-Lake.
Mid-Lake. We can't play anything because Twitch has been hammering people on DMCA stuff. Our very awesome karaoke episode with Evan McCarley has been muted on Twitch.
Censorship.
Because we had a song on it that we legally should not have been playing.
Terrible.
I mean, we could have gotten in a lot of trouble. So, thank you, Jeff Bezos.
Thank you.
I'll never say it again.
They got it on camera, though.
Yeah. Hey, I normally ask Ned, how's your freaking week been? But, like, how's your freaking week been? You had last week off, right?
No, I was back at work last week, but I have been having a nice time unwinding after a very good zine fest. So I've been trying to just, like, hydrate and sleep and eat well and cook.
I got a question for you. After we did the Micro Satan tour, I was so depressed. I was just like the very next day, me and my girlfriend broke up, like because of the depression. Like
Wow.
I was just in such a mood of like I gotta isolate. I hit depression blues hard or post.
It's like postpartum depression.
Did you have that with Zine Fest?
No, I tend to sort of wake up in like a very like relieved and happy mood, just like, oh, that went like well. Because fortunately, we've never had anything go like seriously wrong, but just be like, I'm so relieved that like pressure is now done.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can just kind of like rest and recuperate from the effort of like putting it forth into the world. But I guess it's good to have direction because then I'm not necessarily like as creatively productive unless I have like a deadline or some immense crushing pressure to like produce something or do something. So, you know, it's a little bit of column A and column B, but right now I'm very much chilling.
I guess the big difference is that going on the road kind of created something, and with a huge group, because after, well, not even a huge group, because after finishing a show down here, you see me, I'm in such a great mood because I'm like not doing it anymore. I guess touring is just like a completely.
That's a whole other. That's like a huge. Also, James Medford. I was in Martell, so say whatever you want about that. I know what you're gonna say.
All right. Maria, I would like to bring our guest on.
That sounds great.
Okay. Hey, everybody watching at home. I want you to give a big, warm welcome to our guest tonight. They are one of the founders of the Space Milk Collective here in Houston, and they are the guest producer for Grown Up Storytime Houston, which is a show that you know and love because you watch our show. Please give a warm welcome to Shayna Schlosberg. Hey, Shayna, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey.
All right, let's pull this up.
Is everything work? Okay.
We can hear you.
Oh no! Crap! I'm sorry. Oh my God!
Amazing! You got a special extra for yourself.
I'm guessing you couldn't hear that, but I just started accidentally playing a song.
No.
Okay, great. I'm not going to touch anything else for the rest of the show then, because. All right. So anyway, hey, how are you doing? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm doing well.
That's good.
How are you?
Very chill.
Yeah, doing just fine. I'm very.
I'm a fan of these huge peppers and watermelon in the background. What is this mega?
Yes.
Vegetable fruit stuff.
Okay, so that's actually from
Zine Fest Houston this past Saturday, November 7th. So I'm one of the organizers. So we all, mostly Sarah Welch, really made these incredibly gorgeous paper mache fruits and veg. I did buy this garland at Target though, so like I did help.
Yeah.
And I decided to keep it in my house because it's very nice and it's much nicer than what we had up beforehand.
Awesome. They're not staying, unfortunately.
So, Shayna, one of the things that we ask every guest on this show, this show is about partying. And so we want to ask you, what was the first party that you've ever attended?
Yeah, so I do remember the first party I ever. Okay, so I guess I had some like clarification questions. So is it first party I attended or first party I ever had?
It could be either one. I mean, I'm asking technically attended, but you can tell both.
Yeah. So, and like by party, do you mean like birthday party or like a
It's It's pretty broad. I mean, I think
Raging. Okay.
Yeah.
kind of like tune in, just go with your gut. What's the story that comes to your mind first?
Because we don't even know how to define a party. That's another thing we talk about on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah. I think the first party I remember is attending. It was, I think, like my first birthday party that I can recall, because it was so stressful for my mother.
Oh.
We did this like Hawaiian themed pool party at the Jewish Community Center, and I remember her like she made the costumes and like party favors by hand and like cut these hula skirts by hand and like laminated them, and like 2 days before was like so stressed and like mad at me. And I was like 5 and being like, I can't wait for this party to happen. And like it was great and it was, so much fun. But like I just remember thinking like, I didn't even ask for this, but I will reap all the benefits. But yes, that's probably like the first party I remember, because it was so, I don't know, there was just so much pressure.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Yeah. It's a good time.
It's funny. Like, it reminds me of my mom a little bit. She really like would go like to the 11th degree hand making, like all sorts of stuff. Like for my wedding, like she handmade, like, we didn't have a huge guest list, but she handmade these like coffee bean like bags because she's Colombian, and like hand wrote. And I was like up until 3 a.m. and I was like, Mom, like what?
Oh my gosh.
Like so much pressure on herself to perform. So like I really connected with that story.
It was, I don't know, perhaps I'll understand it today, but at the time,
right,
it was a lot. Yeah.
My parents never provided any crafts for anyone who came. Nobody liked my parties because we never had party favors. That was how. That was the only.
Oh
way
no!
Yeah, that was the only way you could make friends growing up.
There was like a rule against party favors, or?
Oh no, my dad's just cheap. He's very, very frugal, and he did not like giving out what he called participation trophies.
Wow.
Like, they should just be happy that you're here. We gave them a cake, ice cream. What more do they want?
Right. Fair. Yeah, I know my mom is pretty frugal as well. Hence the like making of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, now that you're an adult, what's your preferred party style? How do you like to hang out and relax?
Yeah, I gotta say I like the house party style, but like I've always found the best nights have been, and I'm sure you both agree, it's like unplanned. People just kind of coalesce for whatever reason one evening, and like those have always been, I think, like my favorite parties or nights when like, yeah, it was just incredibly impromptu and the substances take over and lead you in places you didn't expect to go. So like, yeah, I would say that.
Connor, that reminds me, like, there have been some times when like you and me, and definitely a friend of the show, Evan McCarley, have been together somewhere in the set, kind of random coalescing, and like the party style was down to clown, and like if anybody said yes, then the night would like go
I
somewhere
literally
different.
say like down to yes.
I mean, it's kind of like
down that's my party style. Down.
It's like hard chaotic like energy, and you're just like, all right, where are we going? Oh, it's been a long time.
I have less and less of those now. I mean,
I know it's like fewer and farther between.
For sure.
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of more thrilling to do it now. It's like, say yes to anything in today's COVID world. That could be a rush. That could be a way to have some fun. It's like, yeah, let's go to Academy. Let's touch everything. That's a way for you to feel like a teenager again.
Yeah, the opportunities for that.
Let's put on
like,
hats.
Yeah, multiple now.
Let's
Everything feels so out
mats.
of control. Yeah.
So now, talking about parties in COVID, we can't really have them. And if you're having them, please don't, for the love of God. But what kind of party do you want to throw when COVID is over? When we can all finally hang out again? What do you want to see at that big block party, that big party that everybody goes to?
I want to dance. I want to dance so badly. I miss dance. Like, I don't even, and this is what's annoying. I maybe danced once a year prior to this. Like, it was not something I did, but like not having that option.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah, I want to dance. I want to have the option to dance if I wanted to. Like, I'm the same. Like, I don't dance a lot, but like, I can't do it if I want to. That sucks. I can't end up at a bar
I know.
dancing with my friends just because a good song comes on. Ugh.
I want to dance. And also, I mean, I guess specifically, so I manage a theater company, and it was interesting. So we have an annual gala, and it's like, but gala implies like something really crazy, and it's not. It's always been a sort of like alternative gala, really more of just a big old party. But we our gala or spring fundraiser was planned for like the first week of April, and of 2020, and we were like, actually, we were doing a final walkthrough of the venue. We were at Avant Garden when all of, the pandemic really started to like escalate and things were starting to shut down. And we were sitting in Avant Garden just being like, you know what? We got to pull the plug on this. Like, this is not going to be able to happen. And I was so excited about this event because it was going to be like a 70s themed Brady brunch is what we were calling it event. And like, we had like a awesome playlist set up, costumes ready to go, and like, it was canceled. So I would love to revive that once we return, for like many reasons, but there was just a lot of buildup and it never came to be.
I can very much relate. I was going to host, me and Ned, Effin Rager was going to host Grown Up Story Time on March.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in March, and we had all these T-shirts made. We spent so much money, and then it all fell apart.
Right. I know. It's yeah. So
a lot of gigs were.
It would be nice to like actually make that happen.
Yeah. Well, hopefully soon. I think. I mean, I don't want to get too political, but if the news is to be believed, things will be changing soon, which I'm excited for.
But it's really interesting because I feel like actually you've created something pretty new during COVID that you're hoping to continue after COVID. So I guess that's sort of like a little segue into like what you're doing with Space Milk Collective. Can you talk to us about it, like how it came together and, what you're aiming to do?
Yeah. So this was something my friend Josh and Ascensi and I kind of started piecing together before the pandemic happened. So it wasn't really something that came out of the pandemic necessarily, but we were planning to launch a sort of like collective. Well, it is a collective, before we knew any of this would happen. And we like decided to kind of move ahead but this project was built out of conversations that he and I were have had over the past 2 years. Just recurring conversations about like, why are artists leaving Houston? Why is it possible for both of us to like live in Houston, work in Houston, and then still not know about like certain artists? Why the frustration with Houston just being a really siloed. Like in some ways it's very accessible and things are possible here probably wouldn't be possible in larger markets. And yet like there isn't maybe the cohesive kind of community that we see in other cities. And so, we just kind of wanted to like get together and create a space expressly for artists to like converge, collaborate, share, and I guess like to our mind, we just hadn't quite seen something like that, or perhaps like that existed, but we just weren't aware of it. So anyways, so that was, those were the ideas behind this. And then when the pandemic happened, we just thought, okay, well, let's see if we can kind of at least start developing a following online. And then we came up with this like artist spotlight series, which we've been keeping up with really since April. And so, the idea is just to like highlight artists in our city, celebrate the work they do. And we really wanted it to be like a wide range of emerging artists, established artists, because that to us is what is interesting and what we don't usually typically see in the same space. Like there are spaces in Houston that, tend to kind of feature the same established names, and that's cool and great that they're getting opportunities. But then there are underground spaces that like I don't know, just very separate from that more visible world. And so like, I think we're trying to occupy something in between. So, you know, so we featured artists who are right out of school. And then we featured some folks who are like incredibly, you know, celebrated and established and known. And we just like that is happening on the same platform. So yeah, so we've got this artist series. We've also started doing like Instagram live interviews, which, you know, those are interesting. I don't know. It's very much like what people are doing right now. And, you know, but so we were doing that. And then we also have a weekly events roundup. So that's what we have found is possible to like consistently do at this time. And our hope, though, is like once we can return to gathering safely together, to kind of have like small micro events where folks can share their work. Something that we're hoping to kind of address too is like encouraging maybe a more critical dialogue amongst artists, which is something that we've maybe also have wanted to see a little bit more of. So yeah, creating space for that as well.
So, I
was just gonna ask if have y'all considered or have you since produced any kind of Zoom centric content? I know, and comedy,
we haven't.
You have not. Okay.
We have not. No.
Is that something you're open to?
No. I think so. I've actually seen a pretty cool like Zoom play. I mean, there's a lot of Zoom content out there right now, but I did see one in particular that I thought was very well done. And so that's exciting. And yeah, I think we'd be open to that. I guess the thing is like I don't think we're looking to be producers of our own content necessarily, but like amplifiers of existing stuff. So I don't know if we would ever like actually create something.
Gotcha.
So yeah, for
ourselves, yeah.
It's more of like a portal to the work that you want to highlight as opposed to a tool unto itself. I have a question because like I also work in the arts and I really, you know, take note of your use of, you know, emerging and established artists. And I think that, you know, also touching on the diversity of artists in Houston, I kind of want to know because there are spaces that exist for emerging artists, but I think that specifically, how are y'all defining the diversity goal and the emerging artist sort of definition specifically for how Space Milk wants to function in Houston? Because I think y'all are looking to really fill a niche that isn't being filled by other established places potentially.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think what sets I'm not sure what places you have in mind, but what we always wanted to explicitly be like artist driven and to kind of draw inspiration and direction from the very people that are like in the collective. And so I think that's maybe something that kind of sets us apart in that way. But also as far as defining diversity, I mean, that's a core tenet of like our vision and to be more reflective and representative of like the demographics of Houston and the geography as well. So we are trying to be mindful of that as we select the artists that we're spotlighting. We also were trying to be as responsive as we could be when the Black Lives Matter uprising really took off and you know, solicited stories from artists of color about, you know, what their experiences in Houston and working in, you know, predominantly white spaces. That's most of what we have in Houston. And so I think that was really important for us to do to kind of like establish like that conversation as being really important to us as a collective. And so, defining diversity is a complicated thing.
I think you pretty much
and an evolving thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I was trying to be a little circumspect in asking a question that you pretty much answered because I feel like, and I don't want to, you know, call any organizations out by name because it's a Monday night like show. It's not my platform, but you know, I feel like a lot of places over the summer kind of showed priorities and showed, you know, what mattered to them as far as responses went. And I really feel like the fact that you prioritized, you know, a very specific and very clear response, you know, in a way, you know, it's great that you're doing, but it's also sad to say it like sets you apart in that way too. And I think that's really great that you did it, but what a world.
I know. And Houston in particular seems very, like hesitant to have this conversation. I don't know if it's like the Southern congeniality but like, I don't know. I just feel like our community could maybe go harder at some of these institutions.
For sure.
But you know, I've gotten myself in trouble doing that.
People know where their bread is buttered in this town, you know?
Yeah.
That's...
I don't have a dog in this race, so if y'all want to text me things you want me to say, I can repeat them.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to touch this.
These names.
I mean, like, we can, in the abstract, discuss things that trouble us about how things are run in Houston, and
systemically,
I understand that you also share a frustration that I have when it comes to like how arts funding is dispersed in the city of Houston vis-a-vis hotel occupancy taxes. Like, I have an axe to grind about it.
It's all connected. Yes. What is? Were you affected by this? Yeah.
I will neither confirm nor deny. But I know a lot of people who were. I can say that like absolutely for sure. And I think what it is, you know, it's just like the city of Houston, you know, has for a long time, and this is just exposition, I guess, for folks who are tuning in and may not know, like arts funding is given by the city of Houston to artists from hotel occupancy tax funds. So like however many people are traveling to the city of Houston in a year, the tax money from that's what gets given to artists and arts projects, right? But it's not the money that's collected in a given year. It's awarded based on a projected amount of money. So when something catastrophic happens like Harvey or COVID, that projection is completely destroyed. And so monies that are awarded can be taken away and have been this year. So that's just like the background context for folks, but like,
right. And so
many levels.
And this is happening so many levels. And what I thought was like a really compelling rallying cry at this time was so artists are being told, well, it is what it is. And now you're getting half of what you were promised. Meanwhile, you know, the city passes a police budget with a $20 million increase. And so like, if you're going to make the cuts, make it equitably. This is not a matter of like funds not being available. It's priorities.
Yes.
And to make that decision, you know, at this time, given like the conversations that are happening around, you know, community care and policing, like it's just, it was outrageous. But you know, it's hard. Like, so there's been a lot of like uproar. There was a lot of energy, and it's hard to keep that going. It really is because for changes to happen, that has to stay alive years.
And
so
like the city is also so convoluted
with
how they are doing it that there's really no clear person to send your sort of petition to, which is part of the problem.
Totally. Absolutely. And very intentional. Yeah.
It really gets me. The other thing that I really hate about it, sorry, I'm going to say this last piece because this part really makes me mad. Like, the idea that you're going to tie arts funding to tourism, like, inherently discounts the importance of community-led and community-focused, like, local events. Like, it doesn't have to be for y'all. It can be for us or for whatever community's doing their own event. Like, it's ridiculous that they don't get to have funding because they require it to be a draw for tourism. Like, why?
Which we've like, so the group of artists that is organizing in response to what's happening has done some research and apparently that actually isn't like a legal or binding requirement. That is Houston's interpretation of the hotel occupancy tax allocation. And so projects like that was something that has been imposed on artists by the city, and it's not actually like in the I don't know what the technical terms for like the decision to allocate that funding for the arts, but that could change. We can change that. It's sadly a decision that our city made.
Yes.
So
I was just telling Maria that she should write an op-ed to the Chronicle, and she said she didn't know what to talk about. And I think that this is something that you and all other artists can just band together on and shine a light on.
There's been talk
that's
of
something
this.
that's in the works.
Yeah.
What the hell
So,
is this?
yes.
Y'all having meetings without me? What's going on? Clue me in.
I'm a guest host, so I'm committing to being circumspect because this isn't my platform. But people are saying that there is something in the works. A lot of people are saying it.
All right.
Everybody's talking about it.
Yeah. Yep, everybody.
Well, what is it really like under wraps?
No, it's just I'm not really like super a part of that, but people have talked about like writing about publicly this sort of issue and this incongruity in the funding and how COVID has impacted it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, it's something worth bringing to the public's attention, but it's a difficult. Yeah, it's like really it would take a lot of time to like untangle all of the like details about why it's so complicated, but like. I really want to. I feel like we should really focus on what Space Milk is doing and keep it the positive and be like, how are you guys like eluding all these roadblocks and like I saw on your website you had like a saloon series as opposed to a salon series. So I wanted to ask about that.
Yeah, that was that again. Like that was something we wanted to do before COVID-19 hit. But yes, we.
But for like after
the saloon series was. Yeah. This was an idea we had where we would have like artists open up their homes for like small parties and like salons. But I don't know. We just kind of played on the Western Houston culture. But yeah. So the idea was like to have basically these like intimate events in artists' homes, and then maybe have like small performances or shows. So that will eventually happen. But yeah, we were thinking of starting in like our own personal homes and yeah.
Well, I believe
that was,
it'll happen someday.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
I'm gearing up for it. Ned and I have talked about doing a show. We produced a live stream. And we always love introducing a new challenge. And this year we're talking about the challenge should be no one's allowed in the house. Like not even, we won't let anyone get tests. We won't like do anything. We just have to use our environment and create a show that we can live stream just in our house. What can we come up with? We got an hour to fill. What are we going to do? I think that COVID it is definitely challenge Ned and I's creativity in a way that we did not expect, and especially did not expect to overcome so well. I think I speak for Ned in saying that I'm very proud of the work that we have done, and I want to know as a creative, how has COVID affected your creativity, and if it has stifled it, how do you bring that spark back?
Yeah, I actually would say it hasn't stifled it. If anything, it has ignited it in a way that is kind of refreshing. So mostly, so my day job is I am the managing director of the Catastrophic Theater, and like we've just really approached this and the restrictions that COVID has presented like. And so we've launched a whole new initiatives. We're producing films, which is something we never thought we would do. We just closed like a series of really small, I would say Cirque style performances at private homes. People could book us and we'd go out to their front lawns and perform. And like, this is stuff we never, ever, ever would have done. But like just the circumstances have necessitated like some really, I would say, just fun, new, creative stuff. And so we did that. And our audiences are responding really well. And everyone's like wanting us to continue doing this beyond the pandemic, both the filmmaking, the front lawn performances. So I think as a company, we will emerge from this like very, very different. And that's exciting because I also think the organization was at a place where that needed to happen. And unfortunately it took a pandemic to get us there, I guess. But yeah, no, so it's absolutely, I think, been an inspiration. And we've also been lucky to like have the resources to be responsive. There are some folks out there who just like, can't do anything right now. So
Right.
Now, you don't have to answer this if this is like politically heated or too touchy, but what do you think is going to be the hackiest one-act play about COVID to come out after COVID?
Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah, I knew.
Oh my God.
I knew she'd have an opinion on this.
Well, I think it's already happening. I mean, but the hackiest one-act play.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like it's like a zoo story, but it's a couple stuck in their apartment during COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right.
I was thinking like
I don't know. I have no idea.
I had this thought of like a 24 style episode, but it's the last 24 hours before lockdown hits, and you're like running all over town, like to different grocery stores.
That probably would be like exactly it. Yeah.
But I like the idea of like in the house, the one act play that like ends in like just degradation. Like
the couple breaks up, or they can like finally leave the apartment and they're like, well, I guess this is it. Like, I'm trying to think, how can you have an Arthur Miller?
Or just like a recreation of Among Us.
Oh my God.
But
yes. Wait, that's just contact tracing.
Yeah, right. Contact tracing. Yeah.
Have you been playing a lot of Among Us in lockdown?
I just started.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I like it.
Do you play with friends?
What about y'all?
Oh yeah, I play with friends. We got like a little chat going on, and I sell all of them out. I immediately like, oh, my friend Cody, he's sus. He's in the room with me. Trust me, he's laughing, and he gets so mad at me. It's very funny.
Oh, poor Cody.
Yeah.
I've played like once or twice. I just like went on random servers, and like the first or second time I played, I like cracked it. I was like, oh, black is sus, and everybody like voted against black, and they ended up being the imposter, and I was like, I'm good at this. I'm never playing again.
How did you pick that up so quickly?
It wasn't like that quickly, but I was like, oh, I think black is being sus. I don't know what they were doing by the electrical room. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I just started playing Mafia, and I was like, what is Among Us? And somebody was like, it's like Mafia. And I was like, oh, word.
I never played Mafia. I've only played Among Us. I have no frame of
Well,
reference
you played
for it.
Mafia then.
Yeah. I guess so.
I mean, pretty much.
Now, we don't have a lot of time left, Shayna, so I want to ask you about Grown Up Story Time. And I noticed that the solicitation for stories this month, it asked for a sci-fi theme, and I just want to ask you, what is that about? What is Space Milk Collective? What can you tell us about what y'all are going to do and what your take on Grown Up Story Time is going to be?
So we really had a lot of fun with this like sci-fi theme. So my Space Milk partner Josh is very much into just sci-fi fiction, television, films, and so I knew that he would like. I'm good at sort of like finding the talent and that aspect of the producing, and I knew that he would be kind of like have a little more fun with the theme as a host. So. We have just a wide range of, I think, like stories that would be considered sci-fi. And I think we definitely are pushing like the limits of that genre. So in the sense that like sci-fi could be, pushing the boundaries of like in things beyond just like science and space, but also like sexuality. We have a story about like relationships that don't fit into like the usual monogamous structures, and that to us was like we interpret as being a sci-fi story because it's sort of like testing the limits of what we think is possible. And so yeah, there's like I think some element of that in every story. And then we're very goofy and as hosts and like uh, are basically are like premises that we're broadcasting these stories from like a station that, you know, guest has sent us out, and we're like, I don't know, really trying to get new audiences at this time. So anyways, that's kind of the premise. But yeah, we had with it, and the sci-fi theme was just sort of connected to this, to, you know, Space Malt Collective, which like does have a bit of a sci-fi origin story too. So
Ooh,
yeah.
Can you tell us?
Yeah, tell us.
Well, just like being in Houston, being in Space City, sort of, and then again, yeah, like being a boundary pushing sort of, embracing a boundary pushing kind of ethos. So yeah.
I think if Ned were here, he would want to bring this up, and I'd be doing him a disservice if I didn't. But he wrote a sci-fi story that I wish he had submitted, which is about it's about him hooking up with himself in the future, and it's very, very detailed. And it's
Whoa.
When did he write this?
I've seen him read it on stage 2 times in the 11 years I've known him, and I think the earliest one was like, 11? No, 9. I met him in 2011.
Never forget.
So I think the first time I saw him read it was in 2013. This is an old story. He wrote this when he was in college or something.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But if, you know, it's
And he's just been like
sci-fi.
refining it ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he workshops it, and, you know, he gets it perfected. Now, I can't tell you how excited I am to see Grown Up Storytime tomorrow. Ned and I have been hosting it a while, and after watching what Brenda did, Brenda Valdivia, we were so excited to see what everyone else could do, and I cannot tell you just like how pumped I am to, 1, sit back and watch Grown Up Storytime, and 2, like see what you have and what this sci-fi bend is going to do to it. As Man, I just have so many questions and I don't want to spoil it, so I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop asking you questions about Grown Up Storytime tomorrow. We're
excited, and I just like shout out to Emily and Blair for
sure
taking, you know, for doing this, for opening up the curation of things. I think I just really respect that decision that they've made. I think more organizations need to do that. Yeah. So.
To tie it back to our more political discussion earlier, I do want to give a shout out to Emily, friend of the show, Emily Hines, for her city council notes that she puts together.
Yes.
I think when we were talking about the hotel occupancy, the hot tax.
Hot monies.
All I could think about was we need more people like Emily, just condensing everything and making it accessible, because accessibility is such a huge obstacle to getting involved in local civil discourse.
Yeah.
So Emily's saying, "Oh, you guys, no, I mean it, Emily. You're doing
you're the greatest.
You're doing a service to the city for real."
Yeah.
Okay, so we're winding down to the end of the show. I'm gonna try something. Where
you can sing it if you can't find it.
We have a plug song that we normally play, but fuck, I don't recognize anything in this. Oh no. Hang on. Hey. Is this it? Stop singing it.
All right.
Are you familiar? Wait. Oh, I found it. Okay. Now I just have to play it.
What?
Okay. So we have a song that we play at the end of every show. This is our final segment. I'm gonna try and start it. We're gonna sing it, and then we'll you'll figure out what it is. Hang on. Oh, what the hell?
Do we hear it? Do y'all hear it?
Yep.
You can hear that?
Can the chat hear it? Sound off if you hear it.
Oh wait, here we go. All right, it's going to be really loud, so let me turn it down. Man, I miss Ned. He really knew what to do here. Is it coming out of the computer?
I hear it.
I think it's coming out of the computer speakers.
Oh, it's coming out of the computer.
All right, so it's called I Want a New Plug. All right, let's do it. I want a new plug. Tell us what's going on. Dun, dun. Tell us all the stuff you're doing after we sing this song. All right.
Yeah.
That was our plug song. Is there anything that you'd like to plug, Shayna?
Oh man, I feel like I plugged so much. Okay, one more thing I want to. So, grown up story time tomorrow. Also, the Catastrophic Theater had the film that I mentioned premieres on Wednesday, and it's free to watch. It's a 15-minute. It's amazing,
Ooh.
and I'm totally biased, but it is very good.
Where can
So you
we
can go to
find that?
matchhouston.com.
Put
What's
that in
that?
the chat. Matchhouston.com.
Is that 2 H's or 1?
It's actually just one.
All right.
Matchhouston.com. And that's where you can
And it'll
find
be
the
on
film.
the front page.
Cool.
Yeah, because yes, and so it's free to record the short film. So check that out this week. That's probably it for now.
All right, and what about social media? Where can we find you? Where can we find Space Milk Collective?
Instagram. So I'm Shay on Instagram, and then Space Milk Collective is Space Milk Collective on Instagram. We're also on Facebook, but not super active. So
Gotcha. Facebook is phasing out anyway.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Maria, what do you have to plug?
Nothing. And it feels good, man.
Yeah.
And it feels so good.
Yeah. You have your big thing behind you. So
Yeah. If anybody wants me to draw their pet, for Christmas, I'm low key open for commissions depending on what my capacity is. So, I've done it before. I need money. Hire me for your commission projects. Oh, that's sad. All right.
All right, and I just
no,
want to.
I'm like actually very interested. I have a pet that I'm obsessed with who I'd love to have a portrait of. So
Oh, well, you can see some of my work at oh don't even on Instagram.
Oh, look, he's looking it up right now. Look at that.
but I will.
Networking is happening. Amazing.
All right,
I
and since it
know.
happened on my show, we get 20% finder's fee on whatever commission that you
I didn't
get.
sign anything.
Fuck, you're right. I would.
20%. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh
sign
yeah,
shit.
oh yeah. It's a brute. The Effin
Predatory.
Mansion is a brutal
Predatory.
territory.
The Effin industrial complex must be stopped.
I would like to plug my social media at ClifftoCurrency. Find me on Twitter. Find me on Instagram. And I would also like to once again remind everyone that Red Dwarf is still collecting money for some of their Wait, no, they're not. I gotta double check that. Scratch it. I don't know if they're still collecting money or not. But we raised $20 for them last week. Hey. Okay. Shayna, thank you so much for coming onto the
Thank
show.
you.
We really appreciate
Thank you for
it.
having me. Yeah.
And
super
everybody,
fun.
go watch Grown Up Storytime tomorrow at the Grown Up Storytime YouTube at 8 p.m. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Shayna.
Thank you.